Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
What an amazing day. My name is Kathleen Tees, and I work as the CEO of the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. I would like to welcome you all to the newest branch of the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. We're here today after a very long wait to open our new library. After more than a year and a half of construction, we now stand on the same site as Laurel's first purpose-built library that opened almost exactly 50 years ago. Before we begin today's program, I want to thank some people. First, I want to thank the citizens, County Council, County Executive of Prince George's County for general support of the library as part of our educational system, but more specifically for the continued and consistent support of the bond issues that go to fund our construction projects such as this, and also the renovations and maintenance and repair of all of our buildings. We have 19 across the county and counting. I also want to thank the Friends of the Laurel Library. The Friends have been stalwart supporters of libraries here in the county and specifically in Laurel, of library programs, and they have donated a special item to the building that you will see as you walk around today and observe what we have all accomplished. But lastly, I want to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of Prince George's County Memorial Library System's many employees, especially those who work for the Laurel branch. Most of you know that for the last almost 2 years, they have been working out of a temporary site in a little bit of a distance from here that has been much smaller than what they're used to, but that they have really provided the best library service that they possibly could during this long period of waiting, so that the citizens of Laurel and the rest of the county would still have some kind of library service while we were building this wonderful, wonderful building. So right now I'd like to introduce Dr. Christy Wright, who is the president of our Library Board of Trustees, and she has graciously agreed to not only welcome everyone, but also to act as our mistress of ceremonies today. Christy?
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to be a part of this grand reopening of the Laurel Branch. But I have to say, this is a celebration, and so I'm going to act as if we are all in church. And I don't mean to offend anyone who doesn't go to church, but I need to have some interaction here. So is this a great day in Prince George's County? Okay. Much better. Thank you. I have the distinction of giving you a little of the history of the Laurel Branch. But before I do that, I really want to acknowledge the presence of some other board members. We have Samuel Epps, who's vice president, and Brett Crawford, who is a newly appointed member of the Board of Trustees. Laurel's long history of library service dates back to 1908, when a small collection of books was donated by residents and kept in a rented room. In 1910, when Dr. Frank Hall Knowlton organized the Laurel Library Association, the Laurel Free Library was housed in the building on Main Street near 4th Street. It was moved to the Patuxent Bank building at the intersection of Main Street and Washington Boulevard in 1914. Permission to move back into its previous quarters was requested of the owners, and in 1929, Mrs. Thomas Roberts donated the building to be shared by the library and the Laurel Women's Club. In 1947, while still sharing the tiny white frame building, the Laurel Library became the first branch to join the newly created Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Laurel's population grew significantly in the 50s and 60s, resulting in demands for library service exceeding that provided by the small facility. The community's determined effort to secure a new library was successful, thanks in part to a donation of land by the family of attorney and two-term mayor Charles H. Stanley. Ground for a new building at the corner of 7th Street and Talbot Avenue was broken on May 13, 1965, and you'll actually see the cornerstone when you walk through the building. And the 13,340 square foot Stanley Memorial Laurel Branch Library was dedicated on May 7, 1967, amid much celebration. It soon became apparent that the Laurel community would outgrow even this new facility. Plans to expand the branch first appeared in the county's capital improvement program in 1974. Ballot referenda providing for an addition were approved in 86 and 88. Planning for the renovation and expansion was completed in 1989, and construction of the much-needed and long-awaited addition was ready to open in 1992 at a cost of $1,032,000. The building was officially dedicated on July 22, 1993. A Friends of the Laurel Library group established in 1995, and I think I saw a representative today with his t-shirts on, in addition to funding, has been an enthusiastic and generous support group. In addition to funding summer reading and other programs, they have sponsored an annual Staff Appreciation Day. The year 2000 was especially notable for the Laurel Branch and the community as they commemorated 90 years of continuous public service in Laurel. So what began as a small collection of donated books in a rented room has grown to become one of the busiest libraries in the county. Voila. Okay, you're doing good. You're really doing good. Okay, all right. I would like to introduce to you now the Honorable Craig A. Moe, who is the mayor of the city of Laurel.
Good morning and welcome to Laurel and to the brand new Laurel Library. I'm very happy to be here with you this morning, and let me start by saying Executive Baker and Councilmember Lehman, and I know our delegate Frush is here, and our Senator Rosenpep, as well as our county and city council members, members of the Board of Trustees, friends, and guests. We're very thankful to the many of you who have been part of this project every step of the way. Please know that the community can't say it enough. Thank you to for all your efforts. As you know, the library opened in 1967 and it's had major expansion in 1993. Our local community group, the Friends of the Laurel Library, has supported the branch since 1996 and continues to this day. The Friends of the Laurel Library were very vocal and lobbied hard for this new state-of-the-art facility we stand in today. To the Friends, thank you all for the work that you have done and your support. You have helped make it a reality. The Laurel Library has been a long time coming, as you heard, but now that it's here, we can see that it's been well worth the wait. Yesterday, we gathered in the new Emancipation Community Park for its official opening. Emancipation Park has been transformed into a state-of-the-art facility with play equipment, a stone amphitheater, water features, basketball court, picnic shelters, and beautifully landscaped open space. It all fits well with the library site. It allows you to use the park to exercise your body and visit the library to exercise your mind and to grow with knowledge. Community libraries are a very important part of our communities, and I encourage you to support them and voice your support for appropriate funding to keep them in the forefront. To County Council Member Mary Lehman, thank you very much for the work that you do on behalf of the city, and thank you for working with us on the land agreement and with Prince George's County. For your strong support of the city and its residents. Again, Mary, we would not be here today if it was not for your strong support and work to see this library and the park completed. And again, we thank you very much for the work that you do. To members of the Laurel City Council, for your support in working again with the administration in the Prince George's County to approve the land agreement and the many planning meetings that you all attended regarding the park and the library. Most importantly, to the Laurel residents, thank you for your input, your backing, and your patience during the library and the Emancipation Park construction project. I know you'll agree that the library and the park were well planned, well designed, and will meet the needs of the community for years to come. Mr. Executive, thank you for your leadership and your support of this project, your efforts to support community libraries, excuse me, and to ensure that the new Laurel branch had the funding, and keeping it on schedule has not gone unnoticed. Thank you again on behalf of the citizens of Laurel. And I just want to announce now, the others come up, it looks like we need more money because we need to expand. Not everybody is in there. So we would support that effort. And again, congratulations to you all. You're the real winners here. This is a beautiful building, and I'm very happy to be a small part of today's ceremony. Again, congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moe. So to follow up on that, whenever the county exec has his public forums about funding, we need all of you to come out and say that Mr. Moe made you do it. Next we have someone who has been the biggest fan of this branch that I have ever come across. If you don't know her, you will after end of her speech today, the Honorable Mary Lehman.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for being here. This is such a great day in Prince George's County, and it's an especially exciting day in Council District 1. We have such a wonderful turnout here. We have teachers and students. We have elected officials from the City of Laurel, County Council Vice Chair Danielle Glaros. Thank you for being here. Delegate Barbara Frush, Senator Jim Rosapap, School Board Member Sabrina Epps is here. Thank you to all of you for coming out today. We also have library users. I am told that already books have been returned today. Can you believe that? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So people have indeed been waiting for this day for a long time. Libraries, I think we all agree, are very special places. I've been so passionate about this new branch because I believe libraries really represent the best of American society. Libraries engage and they empower our residents on so many levels, and they are appreciated as a major community asset. A 2013 Pew Research Center study on the relevance of libraries in the digital age found some very interesting things. 91% of people said libraries are very important in their communities, and 94% of parents said libraries are very important for their children. And the reasons they gave were: one, that libraries help kids develop a love of reading and books; two, they provide children with information and resources that are not available in their homes; and they are safe places. Libraries are civic spaces, and they provide a community good that really, if you think about it, is immeasurable. They're a pathway to knowledge, they promote lifelong learning, and they afford equal access for everyone, not only to books and computers and all kinds of digital material, but to the trained professionals who can help them navigate it all. Can we have a special hand for our librarians and our staff? A few other interesting findings quickly of this Pew study. 80% of Americans say borrowing books from libraries is a very important service. An equal number, 80%, say reference librarians are an important service. We know that. And 77% say free access to the computers is a very important service. 1 in 4 library visitors uses computers, and the Pew study found people do research, they surf the internet for fun, they check email, they're looking for health information, they're visiting various government websites to find out about services, they're job hunting. They are downloading or watching videos, buying products online. They are paying bills, they're doing online banking, and participating in online classes and even earning certifications in various fields. Who knew that people were doing all those things? I did not. I was especially amazed when I went on the Library System website this weekend to see the incredible variety of programs when I checked under the Events tab. So for Monday and Tuesday alone of this week, okay, we're talking tonight and tomorrow, just 2 days, there are story times at every branch for kids ages birth to 5. There are homework help clubs. There are job seekers clubs, chess club, Minecraft challenge, English and Spanish conversation clubs, 3D printing, senior computer lab, teen game night, STEM for families, boys read program, and a Lego club. They even have, get this, pop-up libraries. I did not know we had pop-up libraries. They had pop-up library events in this week alone at a theater, at a church, and at an apartment complex. Our library system is where the action is. You deserve a hand, PGCMLS. I am so impressed by all that. You have to have a look for yourself. There's so much more going on. I couldn't possibly list all these activities. I'm going to leave it to others to talk about the impressive architectural and green features of this state-of-the-art building, and they are so impressive. But I want to talk briefly about the unique history of part of this site, which the mayor referred to, and that's Emancipation Park. The park is a very important piece of the culture of Laurel's African American community dating back to the 1880s. The area across 8th Street from the library and surrounding St. Mark's Methodist Church is known as the Grove. And it was where Laurel's black residents lived, worshiped, and attended segregated schools through the 1950s. Actually, the first African-American graduate of Laurel High School did not graduate until 1961. Residents of the Grove had Sunday picnics and sandlot baseball games that were played by black teams, including the Laurel Stars, on and near this current library site. And at least as far back as 1910, probably further, but we have a picture from 1910 showing the African American community holding its annual Emancipation Day celebration around Labor Day to mark President Lincoln's September 1862 proclamation that ended slavery. The parade and community festival continue to this day. It is the oldest celebration of its kind in the state of Maryland. So really, this is such a special site, and we are indebted to the African American community and the city too for sharing what is really hallowed ground. Can we have a hand for them? Thank you so much, Laurel. Thank you. I'm going to wrap up with one of the harder things to do, which is to try to do shout outs to the many people. I'm not going to be able to name them all, so I'm going to apologize in advance if I miss anyone, but I'm going to do shout outs to some individuals and organizations who really helped make this new library a reality. Please hold your applause. First of all, the Friends of the Laurel Library and its #1 champion, Pat Behenna. Thank you so much to Pat, Beth Root, and others who have advocated tirelessly for a replacement building for about 20 years at least. And they also donated money for this beautiful living wall that you're going to see when you do the tour. Next, the library system and the wonderful branch staff for handling all of the logistics that Kathleen Tees mentioned of closing the old building, opening the temporary branch, closing that, and then opening this one all in the space of about 24 months. Jack Sloan and the Office of Central Services. Where are you, Jack? Jack Sloan, thank you for overseeing all the details of this project. I predicted a long time ago that this building would be the envy of the 4-county area where Laurel is located, and Jack agreed with me. Melanie Hennigan and Grimm & Parker Architects, what a great job on this beautiful green building design. Sharon Bradley, thank you for the beautiful landscape design. Nardi Construction, thank you for finishing on time and on budget. The new Laurel Library Task Force. This was a stakeholder group that included library users, the Friends, representatives of the city and county. It began meeting in 2012. It continued to meet into 2013 to envision this space. Tom Aylward, I see you in the back. Thank you so much for chairing the group. And Bridget Warren, my right hand and my chief of staff, thank you for coordinating all of those meetings and the many, many logistics we had to deal with. Last, but certainly not least, I do want to extend again a special thank you to the City of Laurel, to the mayor and the council for their cooperation and support, including that willingness to give up part of this special parkland that makes this site so unique and that was needed to accommodate this larger building and extended parking. Mayor Moe and now retired Parks and Rec Director Mike Lotsky, is he here, Mayor? Mike Lotsky. He and the mayor attended all of those work group meetings and a lot of additional meetings to deal with all of the property and siting issues. Funny story to end on, the mayor looked at Jack Sloan in one of those very first meetings and he reminded Jack, he said, there's a history up here in Laurel when the last project that happened up this way, the last county project, the Laurel Fire Station, didn't really go all that smoothly. Jack looked at him and he promised that this project would be different, and it has been. He was right. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here today and being part of this celebration and this day.
Thank you, Councilwoman Lehman. That was a great presentation of all of the folks who are involved in getting this project to be completed. The Children's Center, you will see, will invite those who don't even like libraries to begin to love libraries. Matter of fact, with all the services and programs that Ms. Lehman mentioned, it seems to me library is probably not the name we want to call this anymore, but I'll leave that up to the people who can be creative. But lifelong learning centers comes to mind. But thank you for that. Next we have on the program someone from the National Council of Negro Women of the Prince George's County section, Loretta Tillery.
Good morning, everyone. If there are any members of the Prince George's County section or Mitchellville Bowie section in the audience, please stand. Thank you. On behalf of the members of the Prince George's County section and the Mitchellville Bowie section of the National Council of Negro Women, I would like to thank County Executive Rashawn Baker, Councilwoman Mary Lehman, and the entire County Council, and CEO of the Prince George's County Memorial Library System, Kathleen Tees. We are here today in celebration of the beautiful new library, Laurel Library, that houses a meeting room, this meeting room, that is named in honor of Dorothy Irene Height. I would also like to thank Dorothy Scott, a member of the Prince George's County section, for her tireless work to advocate for the naming of this room. Extraordinary educator and political leader, Mary McLeod Bethune founded the National Council of Negro Women in 1935 as an organization of organizations to represent national and international concerns of Black women. Throughout its history, NCNW has fought for jobs, child labor laws, public housing, minimum wage, the right to vote, and anti-lynching legislation and other issues of importance to women and their communities. It gave Black women the opportunity to realize their goals for social justice and human rights through united, constructive action. The legendary and incomparable Dorothy Irene Height served as the 4th president of the National Council of Negro Women, and at the time of her death served as President Emeritus. Dr. Height defined the National Council of Negro Women as an umbrella group that encompasses many distinct and diverse purposes, but it was always committed to women of African descent and their families and communities. She believed the great strength of the organization is that it builds leadership skills in women by emphasizing self-reliance, unity, and the commitment to working collaboratively. Dr. Height was referred by President Barack Obama as the godmother of the civil rights movement. Throughout her life, she fought for civil rights, women's rights, and for families and communities. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1994 and the Congressional Medal in 2004. She was one of the organizers of the 1963 March on Washington and was on the platform where Dr. Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. From Mary McLeod's concept of an organization of organizations to Dr. Height's focus on women working collaboratively, the common thread is the understanding of the power of people working together for a singular goal. In her memoir, Open Wide, The Freedom Gates, Dr. Height wrote, "I learned to disagree without being disagreeable. And I learned that when opportunities were created for people to get acquainted, to cooperate in stimulating common tasks, and to increase their mutual understanding, their attitudes changed and opened. It is most fitting that this is a room where people can come together to meet and work collaboratively, that it be named after Dr. Height. It is our desire that the Dr. Dorothy Height Meeting Room be thought of a place where people become acquainted, change attitudes, and increase their mutual understanding of one another, that it becomes a place where the legacy and dreams of Dorothy Height live on." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tillery. It's very fitting that this branch, located next to Freedom Park, have a room dedicated to Dorothy Height. Are you okay on time? Okay. I don't know how to introduce this next person. You know, there are people who can do things and there are people who can do great things. Since I've been on the board, there have been several renovations. The Bowie branch opened. This branch has been renovated very nicely. And the person in charge of all of that has been masterful in how they all turned out. So let me just say Michael Gannon.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So one of my job responsibilities is to oversee our construction. So I think I have the best job in the library because we have a lot of nice construction. I feel like today that my daughter is getting married. Please respect her as we move on. What I'd like to do is thank some of the people that were here every day that worked on the project. I'd like to thank our architectural team from Grimm & Parker, Melanie Hennigan. Antonio Ribello was the main architect on this. Antonio, where are you? Stand up. Where are you? Oh, there's Antonio. So the first meeting we had on the children's, the first meeting we had for the children's room, I said to Antonio, "I want a dinosaur skeleton under a glass floor." And he looked at me and said, "How about a volcano too?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll take that too." So you'll see we have not only a dinosaur under a glass floor, but we have a volcano in our children's area too. So I appreciate that he was able to make what we asked for reality. Rick Morrison from Grimm & Parker, Julia Crawford, our interior designer, and Agnes Pagninabin, who was the project manager and was here every 2 weeks for the construction meetings. Nardi Construction was the company that built the building. We have Jim Missel, who was our project manager. Just people stand up. I think that you deserve to have a shout out. Chuck McNulty, one of the superintendents. Charlie Nestor, another superintendent. Ryan Lauer, another one of our superintendents. We have Lucian Romano here from the company. Thank you for doing a great job. Prince George's County, Jack Sloan already got a shout out, but thank Jack for all his support. We had Abdul Sadhu, who is our project manager from the county. He came every 2 weeks to the construction meetings as well. And then you probably noticed that we have art in the library. Art in Public Places is a program that 1% of the construction cost goes to public art, and we have 2 beautiful pieces of public art. So we have Rhonda Dallas here, who is the executive director of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council, and she's in the back there. And she's also the representative on the county's art in public places. So we actually have our artists here. I'd like to introduce them. So the 7th Street side of the building has art which is entitled Involve Me and I Learn, and that's the Washington Glass Studio, or the artists. So y'all can stand up. And then the 8th Street side of the library has Milstein sculpture by Martha Jackson Jarvis. Martha, stand up and take a bow. There you are. I want to thank the Laurel staff too, because they packed up the old branch, moved into the temporary site, packed up the temporary site, moved in here. They've been very patient with me. I was going around the other day saying, don't move the furniture, don't move any of the furniture. So they've been very good, they've been very patient, they did a really nice job. I'm going to talk about the features of this library. So we have a lot of state-of-the-art features. We think we have some things that are probably not only first in our county, but first in the state. This building was designed to a LEED Silver standard. Councilmember Lehman was very insistent that she wanted green features, and I think that we gave her many green features. We have roof-mounted solar panels that help to power the building. In the parking lot, you probably noticed the parking lot seems a little strange. It's because we have permeable pavers in the parking lot that are designed to filter the storm water. In the Whisper Room, which is what we're calling the Quiet Study Room, we have a living plant wall, which was donated by the Friends of the Laurel Library, and we thank them for that. And then something different that we thought was very forward-thinking in this time of power failures and strange climate issues. In the event of a major power failure or natural disaster, this lobby area, including the restrooms, the 2 meeting rooms, can be run on a generator which will power not only electricity and the Wi-Fi, but also the heating and cooling. So we know that when natural disasters have hit parts of the country, people come to the library because they have to file insurance claims or they have to get in touch with their family. So the county will be able to run this front part of the building completely separate from the library in an emergency. So we thought we were being very forward thinking with that. And then my favorite part of the library is the children's room, which is which we are calling Discovery Island. Many of you know that dinosaur bones were discovered here in Laurel, so we thought we would go with a dinosaur theme. We have a special kids-only entrance. We have glowing dinosaur footprints that lead children through the children's area. We have the volcano seating area. We have a study area that's encased in a brontosaurus rib cage. A story time room that's home to a baby saber-toothed tiger. We even have cheetah carpeting on the floor. I don't know if saber-toothed tigers had cheetah print, but it looks good as a carpet, so we went with that. And then we have a life-size replica of a Nano-Tyrannus skeleton embedded under the glass floor. So it looks like when they were digging the foundation for the library, they found this dinosaur skeleton intact. And it's very formidable looking, but a gentle dinosaur, I guess it still is too. So we have 2 meeting rooms, 2 conference rooms, 5 study rooms, a computer lab, and then we have the Whisper Quiet Room too as well. So we listen to the community, we listen to the focus groups, we listen to all of our stakeholders, and I think that when you're finally allowed to go in and see the library, you will see that I think we met, if not exceeded, your expectations. So thank you very much for coming out today.
Thank you, Michael. Again, a job well done. Last but not least is our county exec, Mr. Rashawn Baker.
Thank you. The operative word being last, and please be least. I couldn't help but notice that, these young folks who are here in the front, can we give them a round of applause? They have been so attentive, but I saw them come alive, Michael, when you were speaking, and you started describing what's in here. And really, that's what it's about. I think everybody has been thanked here. I certainly want to thank the library board. Can we give them a round of applause for their hard work? Kathleen, can we give her a round of applause? Certainly. The residents and people of Laurel, can you give yourselves a round of applause? And certainly, that quiet fighter, someone who's very genteel, very quiet, doesn't really make waves. You call her Councilwoman, we call her Dynamic. Can we give Councilman Mary Lehman a round of applause? A real big round of applause. She has fought very hard for this to happen, and to happen on time, as she reminded me countlessly. And for me to be here, halfway on time. There's a couple of things I'd like to leave with. It's people who know me know I love history and know that I love books. And so libraries and history are favorite places for me. It was a place for me to go when I was young like you, to get lost in the world, to travel the world. I found them in libraries, whether they were in the States or in Okinawa, Japan. So it's a special place for me. But one of my staff found this quote, and they know I love John Kennedy, and he said, "History is a relentless master. It has no presence, only the past rushing into the future." Only the past rushing into the future. That is what this is today. This is the past rushing into the future. The Stanley family, the former mayor, giving land here. The Council of Negro Women giving us rights. The citizens of Laurel thinking not about where you are today, but what that future is. A community. A place to gather. A place to learn. A place to make friends. A place to build the type of Laurel city we want. A place to build the type of Prince George's County we want. A place to build the type of Maryland we want. But more importantly, a place to build the kind of America we want. Yes. We want for these young people, and when I say young, that's from birth to young at heart, like me, old, to come here to make friends, to enjoy. That is why we do what we do. For you, the past rushing into the future. God bless you. God bless you.
This part of the program, I'm not sure who needs to be here, but before we have the ribbon cutting, we have a proclamation. Shall I read it? Is that appropriate? Okay. A proclamation. Whereas Prince George's County, Maryland has had a library system known as the Prince George's County Memorial Library System for 70 years that provides materials and information for lifelong learning, support to families for literacy, and education as well as new technologies. And whereas the Laurel branch of Prince George's County Memorial Library System has served residents with excellent library service since its inception in 1908 as a small collection of donated books available to the public, then as the Laurel Free Library Association in 1910, and became the first library to join the county's newly created library system in 1946. And whereas the community's growth and determined effort to secure a new library was fulfilled thanks to a donation of land by the family of Charles H. Stanley, former mayor of Laurel, which led to the building of a branch in 1967 and expanded in 1992. In addition, the Friends of the Laurel Library has been an enthusiastic and generous support group of the Laurel Library since 1995. And whereas the new Laurel Branch Library will provide a destination for families throughout the area where children will have a place to learn, explore, and create in Discovery Island. In addition, art like the two exterior sculptures, Involve Me and I Learn by Washington Glass Studios and Milstein Sculpture by Martha Jackson Jarvis, will inspire the entire community. And whereas the new Laurel branch of the Prince George's County Memorial Library System will continue to contribute to the success of this rich and diverse community by being a vital center of learning, communication, culture, and enjoyment. Now, therefore, Rashawn L. Baker III, County Executive for Prince George's County, Maryland, do hereby proclaim the 28th day of November 2016 as Laurel Branch Library Day in Prince George's County. Furthermore, Mr. Baker encourages all citizens and residents to utilize and appreciate the Laurel Branch and all public libraries in our community. Mr. Baker and Ms. Lee, yeah, shall we just all...
figure out the logistics for that. I don't know how to do that. Should we give her
yeah.
Can we sneak back?
Wow, it wrote. We have a lot of features here.
Yeah.
That could be okay in front of me.
Yeah.
All right.
Shall we cut it? Are we going to chop some? All right.
Now we're looking this way. 1, 2, and 3. Hold those spots. Faces up. 1, 2, and 3. Hold those positions, please. Everyone got it?
Oh, here, come on in here. There's some, okay, come on. Hi, Mom. This is my daughter and a couple of her friends. Oh, well, watch your head by the scissors.
All right, need some ladies down here on the other side, please. Down here, thank you. Please don't step.
Watch the scissors.
All right, young lady, bring your left shoulder towards me, please. Thank you. Here we go. We're looking right here, please.
You got everybody, or no?
Can you get a little in between your friends?
They're close, like we like each other.
You act like you
Beautiful,
like
right.
each other.
Squeeze in, everyone real tight. Everyone, 1, 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Hold those spots. 1, 2, and 3. We'll wait for this young lady to put her arm down. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's see ribbon cut on 3, guys. 3, 2, 1, cut a ribbon.